Welcome back to Munroe's Corner. It's your boy Munroe, and I'd like to thank you in advance for liking and subscribing. Alright, and hitting that notification bell. That was good, man. Thank y'all for getting me to 1,000 subs in a week. You know what I mean? And look, we about to hit 2,000 already. So we on the road to 5K. You know what I'm saying? 5K by May. You know what I'm saying? It's just a week away. Bars. Let's get it. All right, let's get it. I know we can get 1,000 likes on this video. Let's get 1,000 likes on this video, y'all. All right. So y'all, I've been getting a lot of requests for this one. It's Elvis Presley and the Black community. That echo will never die. Y'all really want me to react to this? So let's get into it, man. Let's get into it.
Beautiful and still is a very beautiful person, and his memories shall probably forever live on.
Well, you ain't nothing but a rabbit. You ain't no friend of mine.
There is no room in this city for the vulgar performances of Elvis Presley.
It's shocking. I watched him gyrate his legs and swivel his hips. And our parent-teachers group feels he should not be on television.
We've set up a 20-man committee to do away with this vulgar, animalistic, nigger rock and roll bop. Our committee will check with the restaurant owners and the cafes to see what Presley records is on their machines, and then ask them to do away with them.
You've learned anything from the criticism leveled at you?
No, I haven't.
You haven't, huh?
Because
So he's popping out like he's popping off in that era. That era we weren't even allowed to eat in whites only pies and all that, man. And doing the type of music he was doing at the time catered more towards our people.
Presley records is on.
So not only is he dealing with the religious people, he's dealing with the racist people as well.
Their machines, and then ask them to do away with them.
You've learned anything from the criticism leveled at you?
no, I haven't.
You haven't, huh?
Because I don't feel that I'm doing anything wrong.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Crying all the time.
Rock and roll has got to go. And go it does at KWK. We're all through playing rock and roll records. This week is record-breaking week here at KWK. And after this week, no more rock and roll will be played on the air.
The obscenity and vulgarity of the rock and roll music is obviously a means by which the white man and his children can be driven to the level with a nigger. It is obviously nigger music.
Everybody mostly turned him down. And because first thing, he had Negroes' ways. This is what they didn't, really at that time, they didn't want to accept.
By black performers, and he, in essence, because of at that particular time the kind of backwards mental capability that many people had, as judging a person because of the color of their skin, as somewhat still does exist, but back then it was worse. And he actually, because of him being a Caucasian brother, he was able to do away with that whole thing.
He's 77-year-old Early Wright, a disc jockey at radio station WROX in Clarksdale for 45 years.
Hi there. Pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How do you do? This is your soul man to be with you until it gets through. I want you to stand by, don't have no fear. Following Jay's show, should I play one like this one from out of here? Elvis Presley.
Elvis's songs still get good play on Wright's program among the blues, gospel, and jazz recordings that are its staples. It was almost 40 years ago when Elvis drove down to Clarksdale from Memphis with a record and asked him to play it.
And I had been playing his record, and I had never seen him before, and I was amazed to see him. When he introduced himself to being Elvis Presley, then I went all to pieces over him. Then he and I started talking. I used to be the manager of a gospel group called the 4-Star Quartet. And I could listen to a man sing a hymn. I could listen to a man sometime talk. I did that. And I could pick him out whether he could fit in my group. And talking to Elvis Presley, I could see a great future in him.
It's no accident that Wright recognized Elvis's strong gospel roots. Here at the East Trigg Baptist Church in Memphis, older members of the congregation remember Elvis joining in with the choir while in high school. These were rousing sessions led by the charismatic pastor, the Reverend W. Herbert Brewster.
Like most black people in the South, and to whose throat God has pressed down a harp of 1,000 strings, it only needed tuning. Elvis's voice was that type of voice that agreed with the thought of Calvary. He had that kind of bent and inclination and attitude that suggested that God could use him. I gave the music a different approach, a new beat. I knew that it wasn't going to hurt if I said, "Must Jesus bear the cross alone," whether I've said with 1 beat, 2 beat, whether I've said it high or low. And I told them, "Come on in here and put your stuff together." They came in here, and it was a glorious experience, and Elvis was in that group.
Elvis came out with a style of his own, and it was very...
So Elvis started rocking in the church. Okay. At a black church at that. What he got all that damn soul? I wonder why he got all that doggone soul, man. I wonder if it was Baptist church too, boy. You go, hey, because if you singing in the Baptist church, you singing. You not only singing, you performing. You up and down the aisles. All right, let me stop. I'm gonna try not to pause too much.
Was in that group.
Elvis came out with a style of his own, and it was very creative. And once he got into it, and you got that feel, Elvis just took off like a late freight. And with Elvis doing this kind of music, gave an injection to black music that no other artist had ever done.
It was like an earthquake in my neighborhood. The whole place was shaking when he came on. And I said, how did a person possess that kind of power? That it even comes off the TV and grab me in this ghetto neighborhood.
Elvis took my Tutti Frutti, and I was very disgusted. But by him singing it, he really made it bigger and made me bigger. Elvis took my Tutti Frutti, and I was very disgusted. But by him singing it, he really made it bigger and made me bigger.
During those days, if it was a white artist.
Because you know, a lot of people was like, Elvis took their music and stuff like that, but in this situation, Little Rich was like, yeah, he took my joint, you know what I'm saying? I was pissed, but he made my record that much bigger, which made me that much bigger. Wow.
Made it bigger and made me bigger.
During those days, if it was a white artist doing something, they would just say, they don't like our blacks and we don't like them either. He's nothing but a copycat. But Elvis Presley, when he came on, chicks was screaming and going crazy, and it was just like any other neighborhood. And I said, this guy's got something going, man.
Elvis had something that made him sound like he truly meant it, and that's what made a lot of people like myself like him.
I think Elvis had lots of soul. He appealed to black people. He definitely had to have soul in order to do that.
I think there's ever been an artist that when his name went on the marquee, they knew he was coming. People came from all over the world. I never heard of that.
Elvis did a lot of stuff that, rappers do these days.
He had the bling.
You gotta have the bling when you're from Memphis.
He had the bling, you know, he had a Cadillac, you know, he had like a gangster image.
It'll say he had his swag, man.
As the snow flies on a cold and gray Chicago morning, a poor little baby child is born in the ghetto.
The song also resonates with people who've only met Elvis through his songs.
I was talking about the hood, you know, he talking about where we come from.
Paul Beauregard and Jordan Houston are the Oscar-winning rap duo 3 6 Mafia. They grew up just 2 blocks from Graceland in one of Memphis's poorest neighborhoods.
Hold on, did they sample an Elvis song? Did 3 6 Mafia sample an Elvis song? Y'all let me know in the comments, man. Let me know if y'all want me to react to that. If they did, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know we gotta react to that.
I want CD scratcher.
My mom used to always listen to this song when I was young. He talked about, you know, things that she went through. You know, she had like, you know, my mom had a bunch of kids, like 9 kids. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get somebody to listen to your song. You talk about what they know about and what they want to hear. And she know about ghetto, because, you know, she lived in ghetto.
In the ghetto.
That's it.
And his mama cries. But if there's one thing that she don't need, it's another hungry mouth to feed in the ghetto.
After we find the part on the record that we want to use, we sample it into the drum machine or the keyboard. That way we can loop it like.
My first line says, first I'm broke, so I hang out with the rat and roach. It's still broke, so I'm sleeping on apartment floors. So it's just like the struggle, you know, what's going on in the hood. First I'm broke, so I hang out with the rat and roach. It's still broke, so I'm sleeping on apartment floors. And I was off beat, but it's all good, because it's on TV.
Yeah.
Maybe do some edits, make me look cool, maybe put my name in the credits.
And once we have all that ready, you know, we load it into the drum machine and then pay out.
So he starts to roam the streets at night, and he learns how to steal, and he learns how to fight in the ghetto.
Survival is an everyday task. Watching your back for the man wearing the mask. I say you might get stuck if you in the hood looking like it came up. I say you might get stuck.
3 6 Mafia in the ghetto. Let me know if you want me to react to that.
If you in the hood looking like it came up. We ride old school whips, high off the ground, right beside a player hill. It ain't as bad as it seems. We still stay fly, looking so clean.
First I'm broke, so I hang out with the rat and roach. And still broke, cause I'm sleeping on apartment floors. The junkies get up, kick, when they smoke a brick. I never seen a drug dealer ever call it quits. The hood struggle is to make you gotta get the change. See, every day is like a dark cloud full of rain. The feds tapping for what's dangerous when you hood trapping. So don't get lost in the sauce slinging, cold crackling.
Hey.
So help your brother along the way, no matter where he starts. But the same God that made you made him too. These men with broken hearts.
In the ghetto.
During the 60s and early 70s, when tensions between blacks and whites were at an all-time high, Elvis demonstrated his desire for racial reconciliation in the musicians that he chose and the treatment they received.
When we first decided to take the gig with Elvis, we had no idea that there would be any racial flack regarding it. Our first racial encounter was when we went to Texas. Elvis was told by his people that, well, you can leave the black girls home. You don't have to bring them. So Elvis wasn't going to do the Astrodome unless his girls could be with him. And he demanded that we be given the star treatment. We had to be in our convertible where everybody could see us, and our little blonde could drive us. And that was his statement. You don't like it? Deal with it, or I'm not going to be there. And I thought that was very big of him.
When I joined the group in 1960.
That's some real G shit right there. You know what I'm saying? Gotta stick up for your group, your artists, you know what I'm saying? Your people. Like, yo. And that's huge, man. He turned out an Astrodome. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. He turning out stadiums. That's some real stand-up shit right there. Especially when this is different to do it back then than to do it today. You know, look at like Eminem, like sticking up for, you know, his people, his group. Eminem's made plenty of statements, speaking out towards the unjust that black people are facing. You know what I'm saying? But imagine that, and that's one reason why I like Eminem so much, outside the fact that he's such a dope artist. But imagine doing that back then, where black people weren't even allowed to eat in the same restaurant as white people, drink out of the same water fountain. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. I mean, I could imagine the hate that he was getting. He's already fighting against the religious people. Now you fighting against the racist people. You know what I'm saying? You fighting against the music industry, who really don't want to see this white guy do black music. You know what I'm saying? The devil's music. That's what they call rock and roll and all that.
And I thought that was very big of him.
When I joined the group in 1972, they took a big chance in the group.
Sherman Andrews.
In 1972, they took a big chance because there were no blacks in contemporary or Southern gospel music, and I was the first one, and it made all the headlines and everything. It was in Billboard and all the newspapers in Tennessee. And my first time meeting Elvis he had a folder full of clippings of things that he had read about me. As a matter of fact, the Imperials brought me to his suite, and he gave me this folder with all the clippings, and he personally welcomed me into the family. And for a guy who, you know, didn't really know where he stood, this was very important, that he acknowledged my presence and, you know, made me feel very much a part of what we were all doing. And right away, he treated me like he'd known me for years. He gave me one of those TCB chains and everything, and I was just one of the guys, and I never forgot that.
And I've been around him with other people of color, and I've only seen him give love. He was very generous to people that he didn't even know. You didn't have to be of any racial persuasion for him to love you.
And you know, they had.
So did all this racism talk with Elvis come from like being guilty by association? You know what I'm saying? Like during the times and stuff like that?
You know how rumors get started when there's a big star or something, the people will start rumors, well, he doesn't like this kind of people, or he doesn't like those people or that people. And I never got that from him.
But you know, Elvis is a whole nother thing. It's just, I think it's scary to even be compared to people in that, like, you know what I mean? Because he's such a big talent, and in his absence, of course he's bigger than in his presence. And music marks time, so in this time period, what Elvis was to his period would be something totally different. Well, I think rock and roll, I mean, what he brought to Vegas is more than rock and roll. I mean, I think it's just so much going on out here on the entertainment front. Like right now, you'll see the likes of Celine Dion and Tony Braxton. It's a lot going out here. You know what I mean? As far as rock and roll is concerned, it's great. I mean, Elvis Presley was able to do things that haven't been able to be duplicated to this day.
That's some real G shit, and that's coming from 50 Cent.
Black American music influenced Elvis. The fact that people say, well, he's the king of it all, king of rock and roll, is a slap in the face to those that made the music possible in the first place. Not to say he wasn't brilliant. I think he was a fantastic, talented singer.
I don't think he ripped them off. I think once something is...
Well, the thing about that, being called the king of something, even if you didn't, even if you wasn't the founder of it, if you come through and, transcend it, take it to a height that it's never been, then yeah, you can become king of that. You know what I'm saying? Particular thing. I'm saying, I mean, that's in anything, any music genre, any entertainment aspect, just anything, any business wise.
Has been exposed. So anyone can act.
And then a lot of those times, people give you those titles. A lot of those times, you get crowned something. You don't self-proclaim it. People give it to you. People give you that crown.
Or take from it if they like. He was just so great, so popular, so hot, so anything that he played, it became a hit. To me, they didn't make a mistake when they called him the king.
The only thing I want to know, was he my friend? Did I enjoy him as a performer? Did he give the world of entertainment something? Yes, on all counts. And that's the name of that tune.
He was a bundle of energy set to music. And that echo will never die.
That tune.
He was a bundle of energy set to music. And that echo will never die.
Yo, that was... Rest in peace, Elvis. Yo, that was a good watch. That was a good watch. That was a real good watch. You know what I'm saying? These was black people that was around him, was in the entertainment industry. These was his peers. His friends. Some not his friends, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't like from that video. I don't get no racism, no racism from Elvis. You know what I'm saying? That was a lot of admiration and love, pretty much. I didn't know he came up singing in a black church though. It makes a lot of sense though. You know what I'm saying? It makes a lot of sense. His style and like how he grew up, where he grew around. You know what I mean? Especially like Memphis, there ain't nothing but pimping out there. You know what I'm saying? Fly flashiness, you know what I'm saying? You like people like to look good, man. People like to look good. And it shows in his style. You know what I mean? So it makes sense when people like, he stole black music and stuff like that, but he grew up on it. Like he was in the music system. One of that, yeah. That's dope, man. Rest in peace, Elvis, yo. That was a good watch, man. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Put it in the comments what you want me to react to next, and I'll get on it, man. Let's get this video to 1,000 likes. And look, let's get to 5K by May. That's a week away. Bars. Y'all got me. I know you got me. Shoot, we about to hit 2. I know you got me. All right, peace out, y'all. I love y'all.